Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer, welcome back to Farming Simulator 17, and welcome back to the Western Shore. Man, I'm on the struggle bus. I am, but I kind of like it, I have to say. Let me show you what's going on. So it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon of day 4, and yesterday, after I got done in the evening, I worked literally all through the night, and so far today, and I've done that over the past few days in real life. There's a lot of hours in this map, man. I'll tell you what. First things first, we did get all the bales out of Field 4.9, Field 5.0, and Field 5.1. I got the majority of them put up. And you know, we got all of our rows in from our grass fields. I got those in as chaff, silage, behind the dairy, 200,000 liters, and between the lane and the dairy, 325,000 liters. Got those clamped and covered, and they are cooking as we speak. In seasons, after you mow grass, you keep one layer of fert. I went ahead and spread pellet fert on these, so we have a second layer, and if it switches over tonight at midnight to first harvest stage, as I suspect it might, right, that's a third cut for us this year, then we'll be able to apply a third layer of fert and get maximum yield from these grass fields again. What we'll do with that grass? I have no idea. No idea. So I leased this rig right here. I've filled it with digestate. We have a spreader up at Field 5.9. And it is full, so the 15,000 liters there, 30,000 liters here, and that is all of our digestate. I think there's like 200 liters left in the BGA tank. But we're going to take this up to the farm, park it, we're going to hop out momentarily, run down and pull the JCB and our last flatbed of bales into the yard. I'll show you what's going on in the yard. Then we'll hop into our new tractor that I leased, because we don't have enough money to buy it yet, but we will. When we sell the silage that is in the clamps now, we will have enough. But I leased that. We're going to use it to pull the big slurry sprayer, and we'll go from there. Oh, man. I really am enjoying this farm. I really am enjoying this map, but it is save game. It is a handful. It really is. And, you know, I never want to do the same thing in back-to-back episodes. I always want to be doing something new. But that's pointing to like more and more prep time between episodes. I don't mind it. I have to stress that. I do not mind it. I'm playing a video game. I enjoy it. It makes me very happy. So it's not a big deal. I'm not complaining. I'm just aware of the fact that it's a lot of hours. Come on, more realistic. This is interesting too. When I leased this truck, it gave us the option of a manual transmission or the Tipmatic, which is not an option you get unless you're running gearbox. But I was curious if the Tipmatic automatic from the dealer would work better than going with the manual and putting it in simple mode, which is what most of our tractors are. Simple mode and automatic are not quite the same thing. This is actually an automatic, a Tipmatic heavy truck automatic transmission. So it seems to work a little better. Ooh, it seems to work a little better. But it is not an option for tractors. So we'll see. I've had gearbox turned off quite a bit, and I think we're just asking too much of the game. We have too many mods stacked up, and it makes things cumbersome and in some ways less immersive than if we were running fewer mods. So I may permanently disable gearbox. I don't want to. I really like hearing the tractors cycling up through the gears. And I also like the ruts that it digs in fields. I believe that is unique to gearbox. You'll actually like spin your wheels and sink into a field. And I don't think that can happen. And there may be another mod that does that, but as far as the mods that we're running, if we disabled gearbox, I think we would disable that. I kind of like that. So, what else is going on? Still selling milk, still making cows. And we are, for the most part, just getting it done. Now, this is as good a time as any to talk about it. We just started getting a little chug right there as we came over the hill. It's not quite FPS drops. I mean, the FPS drops a bit, but it's still high enough that it should be smooth, all things being equal. But we are getting some chug in the direction of the farm. I'm suspecting that it may be bales, because I can't think of anything else that could be different. We started getting that chug after we had sort of a fixed fleet on the farm. We didn't buy anything as far as, hot mods or anything. I thought it might be that that IBC container that we have our silage additive in. But I think it's the bales now. I think because we've got, I don't know, 150 bales in that shed, 120. We've got a lot of bales in that shed. I think that might be it. And I know this map has the smart sheds, the FPS protection mod. I don't know how you want to describe it, but it cuts the resolution on your polys. And we can turn this off now. Yeah. To spare you FPS. So yeah, I mean, it's so smooth right now. And when we look back around at the farm, we start getting some chug. I don't know. I want to sort it out. And it's not a deal breaker by any means. But I want to sort it out. I want to know what's causing that. Right, you just saw there very quickly out of the corner of your eye. This is our tractor that we're going to get. Case Puma CVX. You say Puma, you say Puma. In the US, we say Puma. And we got our big spreader on the back. I'm told this is only used for transport, but it does have a nozzle, a spray nozzle on the back, so we're going to use it for spraying. This tractor, let me tell you, this is an FBM. This is a Forbidden Mods team tractor. Did not come with more realistic, but I found a more realistic XML for it. And then I also found a Ludmilla sound pack for it. And we'll get to the sound momentarily. I'm going to try to get rid of this thing you see on the right side of the screen. That's taking up a lot of real estate. And what it is a series of cameras, like a backup camera and a hookup camera and I don't like it. I don't like it, and I kind of want it gone. So I'm going to dig into the XML and see if I can get rid of that. I haven't used it once, and I would prefer that it go away. Don't like it. Right, I'm going to stop talking. Turn up the volume, check out the sound on this. Here we go. And I wasn't revving that. That is the startup sequence. That's what it sounds like. I love it. And we want to take brake off. And we definitely want to lock those in. Let me see. I mean, we got kind of a flat area here. And then we've got a hill down there. Let's do this. Let's try to empty this thing out a little bit. Let's get some volume out of this. Ooh. And we are at 270 horsepower. You can feel the difference. Let's try to get some volume out of this thing before we attack that hill. So we'll start over here on kind of a flat area. Make ourselves a little headland, a little place to turn around. And then we'll head back over there. Slow the cruise control down. What do you say about, you want to say 6 miles per hour? I think that's about right. We'll set that. Turn that on. Here we go. And that is, we are applying, are we not? Yeah, we are. It's hard to tell with the texture sometimes. And when I reinstalled FS17, there are, I'd say, yeah, 100 or so mods that I run. And I was trying to remember, because this map has so many custom textures, I was trying to remember if I downloaded all the forbidden plants from, is that LS Modding Company? Yeah, all the forbidden plants and forbidden crops. Forgotten. All the forgotten crops and forgotten plant textures. And I honestly can't remember whether I did or not. It's almost like I've forgotten. No, I didn't like that one. I don't like that one. Didn't feel good about it. But I honestly can't remember whether or not I did, and even if I had, I don't know if the textures that Bullet Bill installed in this map would overwrite any textures that we had overwritten to the farm simulator. I don't know what you'd call those, the base game textures. Because when you install the forgotten plants and forgotten crops and everything, that's how you do those, right? You go into the base game, like the data folder, and you overwrite all those textures. But then I think a map maker can include textures in a map that they don't overwrite them, they just sort of load after them. So even if you've got custom textures in base game that show up in base game maps, a modder can include textures that show up on top of those or instead of those. But I honestly can't remember whether we did or not. I guess what I can do is when I'm done recording, I can go to LS Mod Company and download all those textures and install them, and then see how things look next time we play. I don't know. I mean, no complaints though. I've got no problem with the way these textures look. Everything seems to be working okay. So, yeah, and by the time we get to this big hill here, save game. And you know what? Let's not just head straight up that hill. Let's do this. Because we're on a bit of a grade right now. Let's do this. Let's just make a 180-degree turn and make another horseshoe back the way we came. Yeah, you can really see it there, that chug. Yeah, as we're looking toward the farm, you can really see it. All right, so let's flip this around like so. And we'll just, yeah, horseshoe back to where we started. Okay. As always, I have no idea if this is a legitimate technique that a farmer would use. I have no idea. But you know what? We're having fun. That's the important thing. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon, and we're playing a video game. What more could you ask for? Right, that was just about half right there, so I'm wondering if we'll have enough to get to the end of this tank. Yeah, I think we're going to have enough to get back to where we started, and from there we can shut off, drive over to our... Is that a nurse tank, or is that just a tanker? Oh. I thought about not leasing that at all. Between the MAN truck and the trailer, it cost us like 25 grand to lease that. And I thought, you know what we could do is just haul this thing down to the BGA over and over. But I don't think you would do that in real life. Even if you lived very close to a BGA or to a facility where you could fill up a spreader like this, I don't think you would drive it out on the highway repeatedly. That's really not what it's made for. It's made specifically for spreading. And it's got a registration on it and lights and everything. You can drive it on the road. I just don't think you really want to. Not any more than is necessary. So let's turn around this way. Right over here. Yeah, it just feels so much... It just feels effortless to get around these fields with 270 horsepower versus... is our JCB 200? I believe that's the highest horsepower total we have on any vehicle. And it just really feels so different. I don't want to say it's too easy. You can still feel the weight. And it's definitely got a... It's definitely got what I would call a realistic feel. A feelistic feel. I got no complaints. But we're not struggling as we have. So I will take this over the other. Alright. Which is not to say we're getting rid of any of our other tractors and we're not disabling any of our realism mods. Let me just clarify. We're not giving up. But in terms of enjoyment, yeah, this is a lot more enjoyable than the other. And I think, yeah, we should be able to get right back to just about where we started. Didn't plan it that way. But as happens fairly often on the farm, everything just kind of worked out. All right, I'll take it. I'll take it. Right up here. And that's going to be tricky to see where we started. Yeah, no, I can see it fairly well. It is right there. Flip this around one more time and we'll just head back to the edge of the field, or to the edge of the area that we sprayed already. Yeah, this is definitely not any type of approved technique. We are gonna subsoil this field, so I'm not worried about compaction, but it's still, what we're doing right now seems a little haphazard. What are you gonna do? All right, how empty can we get this thing? How about, how about 800 liters? Works for me. So I did, and in fact you'll be able to see it in the thumbnail, I did start with the Coda Universal tank. I'll zoom in a little bit here. Started with the Coda Universal tank, and because it uses the hose mod, Wobster's hose mod, right about there, suspend your disbelief. Pretend you see some type of connection between these two. Not filling? Not filling. Were we, could have sworn we were just in a trigger. Moment, please. And then this one. There it is. Okay, trigger's further back. Refill slurry tanker. That's what I want. All right, that was easy. I did start with the Coda Universal tank. That was the first tank that I rented. And I couldn't fill it at the BGA. And it is because it uses the Wopster hose system mod. And if that's not built into the map, then you don't have anything to connect the hose to at the BGA. You have to have the map maker actually has to install this. You can do it yourself in Giant's Editor if you want. But if not, there's nothing to connect the hose to, and some tankers will not fill from the regular trigger. They require the hose mod trigger. So, had to take that back. I don't know what we spent like $5 to lease that thing, and then I had to take it back and lease this other one. You know what? It's just pixels. It's nothing to get upset about. Everything's fine. But I was driving all around and couldn't get things filled. They look the same. They actually use the same model, but on the Coda Universal, this is active. Active, I said. This little thing right here is active, and you can hook a hose up to it. So that's how it went. Let me see. Now we do have several sprayers that also use the hose system mod. So we could have hooked those up to the Coda Universal tank, but we wouldn't have any way to fill the tank in the first place. So it was a bit moot. Okay, so this thing is full. I'm going to shut it down. Time, 16 minutes. That's perfect. We'll head over here. We'll hop in the JCB, pull those bales into the yard. I'll show you some of the stuff that I did off camera, and we'll call it. And that should be, hopefully, about 25 minutes. Yeah, give or take. So, yeah. And what else is going on? Grass is fertilized. Working on these fields. I leased a Sapphire Cultiplow. We're going to pull that with the case and use it to fold in the fertilizer that we're going to spray on both field 4.9 and field 5.9. And even though field 4.9 has already it's already got the plow buff because we subsoiled it last spring. We won't get that bonus again, but if we cultiplow it, which will give us the plow buff, it will extend it out for another season. So that'll be 3 seasons from now for both of our arable fields that will get that 10% extra. Right. So that is off. I do not like loading bales. I really don't. I don't like loading bales, and I don't like compressing silage. I think both those mechanics are somewhat lacking in-game. I think they could have been fine-tuned a little better. Right. So swing this in here. Show you what I got. I'm just gonna leave this here for now, just for the moment. I'll just leave this right here. So this is our cultiplow, and it's, I don't know how you would describe that. I think it's either a plow that gives you the cultivated texture when it's done, or it's a cultivator that gives you the plow bonus. I don't know if that's a thing in real life. I feel like subsoiling, plowing, and cultivating are 3 separate processes that really can't ever be combined into one pass. So right, I've got, let me see, 200,000 liters in here now. And we've still got these little bits poking out. I think it may be because there are so many really complex compound angles. Places like this here. There's really no place on this map that's ever flat. And because you have transitions from one angle to the next, I think at times it can be difficult to get a bucket under some of these to pick them up. So, not a big deal. And yeah, I got this as flat and smooth as I could before my patience ran out, and then had to move on. You know what I mean? I got stuff to do. Here's our bales all stacked up. Now, you'll notice I did not calendar my silage. What I should have done was either pulled these older bales out, put the new bales behind, and then put these old bales in front, so we use the oldest stuff first, or put these new bales somewhere else, so we could just pull these out, the old ones first. Instead, we're going to use them in reverse. I know in real life you would not do that. You would always use your oldest consumables first, and then hay. We got hay for days. For days. Right. And then over here, pardon me, over here, we've got our other pit, and it is, yeah, this is the one that's at 325. Oh. And same thing up front, just a lot of little angles. If you're playing this map, you know what I'm talking about. It's not flat anywhere. It's really not. And so you got to kind of improvise. But yeah, that is there. All these fields, all these grass fields are done. Nice sky, by the way. Sky swap mod, well done. All these are done, and I'll go ahead and get field 5-9. I'll finish the fertilizing off camera and get the cultiplow going down there, and then bring the, well, we might not be able to do that. I know what we can do. We're going to run out of digestate. We've got a little bit of slurry in the tank, probably enough to finish field 5-9. We'll return the MAN and the tanker back to the store. We'll return the liquid slurry spreader back to the store, and we will lease a hard manure spreader, because I believe we've got, go back over here, I want to say we've got 12 or 15,000 liters of hard manure. Might be enough to finish that field. If not, we can buy some as well. I've got the big bags mod. So once we lease that hard manure spreader and use all of this, when we run out, I can buy more manure and have it delivered, so that we're still getting use out of that leased piece of equipment rather than just using it for 1 or 2 passes. Yeah, I think that's a good compromise. Does that make sense? Makes sense. Okay, next episode we will be spreading hard manure and using the cultiplow on field 4-9 and field 5-9. Perfect. And there you have it, folks. Thanks for stopping back to check out The Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Farming Simulator 17. This is the Western Shore. We'll see you next time. Take care now.